Tracy E. Gilchrist, and this is Equal Entertainment. Singer Bebe Rexha is recovering after being hit in the head with a cell phone during a performance. She was on stage at South Street Seaport in New York City. Video shows her falling to her knees in pain. Police charged a 27-year-old man from New Jersey with felony assault for using his phone as a weapon. Rexha says she's doing well even after suffering a black eye. The Flash movie appears to be off to a slow start at the box office. The DC superhero flick made $55 million domestically. That's considerably less than the $75 to $85 million it was predicted to make. The Flash was in limbo for several months and marred by controversy surrounding lead actor Ezra Miller. Miller had several legal issues, including accusations of grooming minors and also mental health issues, which led to a non-traditional promotional push for the film. Experts now say the film could lose over $150 million. It was a gathering and celebration of Black queer excellence in New York. In celebration of Pride Month, Native Son hosted its 7th annual Native Son Awards. The group is dedicated to empowering Black, gay, and queer men. This year's honorees included costume designer Chester Algernon Gordon, celebrity stylist Jason Bolden, and his husband, interior designer Adair Curtis. Journalist Don Lemon served as the host of the event. He said events like this are important because of the attacks on the LGBTQ+ community and especially on Black gay men.
From Black love to Black power, the visibility of proud and successful Black, gay, queer men across Native Son's platforms is priceless. Look around you, look at this room. There was a time when we wouldn't dare be caught alive in a room like this, right? We would not be. It's spaces like this one that we have tonight that are incredibly meaningful, especially as our community faces relentless attacks on our humanity and all its platforms. I may not be on CNN, but I'm still a journalist, and let me tell you what's happening. All right? In 2023, there have already been more than 520 anti-LGBTQ plus pieces of legislation introduced in state legislations all across the country. Nearly half of those bills target our transgender and non-binary siblings. These bills range from banning gender-affirming care for transgender youth to banning drag performances. There's also been an avalanche of book bans attempting to censor stories that center us. So let's just be real. These book bans are rooted in anti-Blackness, in transphobia, and queerphobia. As the great James Baldwin, one of my personal heroes, would say, I can't believe what you say, because I see what you do. Right? There is a consequential power we have when we tell our stories on our own terms. And there are many people doing everything they can to silence us. We have to be vigilant. We will not allow them to succeed. It does not matter how many bills they introduce. We cannot and will not be legislated out of existence.
Lemon was part of the inaugural class of Native Son Award recipients in the event's first year. The Native Son Awards were created by media guru Emil Wilbekin. Black Mirror is back, and fans are talking about the Joan is Awful episode. If you haven't seen it, it turns a regular woman's life upside down when a hit show is made about her daily routine. I spoke with stars Annie Murphy and Salma Hayek about the timely themes of Black Mirror. Congratulations on this episode of Black Mirror. It's fantastic. And I want to go to you first, Salma, and just ask you, what would you do if you suddenly found the day-to-day of your life on Streamberry?
I'd move to Mars.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's the only answer.
Although
really.
I'll tell you, the ratings would be very higher than my actual acting work.
Well, I have a slightly more serious question, because the series really touches on so many kind of very timely things, including the issue of AI happening during this writer's strike. And would you kind of touch on the very timeliness of this, Salma?
We were talking about how she's convinced that Charlie is psychic.
I am.
A writer, brilliant creator of these. And she convinced me because he's like 5 years ahead, a couple of years ahead. We talked about that when we were doing the show a couple of months ago, but now it's not like 5 years ahead. It's like 5 minutes. This is happening in 5 minutes, and it's a threat of today, not in the near future. And it is terrifying. And really, I have so many thoughts about this. I admire the brain that can put that together, but at the same time, I want to say, dude, use that intelligence. Go find the cure for cancer. If you really want to make a lot of money, find the cure for cellulite or a pill that's not going to give you white hair. If you want immediate satisfaction, whatever, if you cannot find. But don't try to take our jobs away. And at the end of the day, I think it might go in that direction no matter how we fight, but it's not going to stay in that direction. Because we, as humans, will miss being humans. Will miss feeling humans. You cannot imitate touch. You cannot imitate the energy of a human being and the beauty of imperfection when it's not contrived.
Well, Annie, I wanted to ask you, and maybe this is me just putting on my feminist hat, but I don't think it's lost on me that the first person, the test case for this person to be kind of ridiculed and under a microscope is just kind of an average woman trying to do her job. And I wonder if you would comment on that.
Yeah, I mean, the alternative to Joan is awful was Brian is awesome. So which didn't fly. I mean, I think, of course it's a woman, and of course it's a woman just trying to get through her day, flaws and all. But I do what I do love about this episode is we get to follow a character who is flawed and makes poor decisions and has regrets. But she's still a kind, good, normal human being on this earth. And so I hope so much that people, if they see themselves in Joan, feel less alone and less able to make decisions to change the course of their life if it's a life that they're unhappy with.
The new movie on the Flamin' Hot Cheetos origin story has an element to it that is deeply rooted in the Latin community. Faith is a journey, and Richard Montañez's experience with that is explored in Flamin' Hot. Producer DeVon Franklin tells me why it was important for him to tell that story. DeVon, would you speak a little bit about the role of faith in this film? Judy's got faith, and Richard is learning to have faith in himself. And I wonder if you could speak to that aspect of it.
Yeah, we really wanted to portray their journey as they experienced it. So that journey of faith and that faith storyline really mimicked, what Richard and Judy went through in real life. I mean, both of them, when they came together as portrayed in the movies, they were in the streets and they were, doing different things. And then Judy got pregnant and, basically came to faith. And Richard was like, what? You're praying now? What's going on? So that all happened in real life. And so in order to honor their story, we wanted to make sure that we honored their faith. And so that storyline in there, is there because it shows that Richard was skeptical, but ultimately, on some level, he did come to a place of belief. And we wanted to show that in the film.
Prince changed many of our lives with his music, and now a piece of Prince's deep history, going back to his early days, is up for auction. The self-titled demo tape that the late musician used to land his first recording contract is on the market. It was recorded in 1976 and contains unreleased versions of the songs Just As Long As We're Together and My Love Is Forever, as well as the never-released Jelly Jam. Prince was just 18 years old when he recorded the tracks, all written, sung, and arranged by him. The demo is part of the Marvels of Modern Music auction from Boston-based auction house RR Auction. You can watch the Advocate channel live by downloading our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. For the Advocate channel, I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and thank you for watching.